It's the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. Each month, we take a look at the performing arts scene in the Rogue Valley and visit with the artists who bring the shows to life. From Camelot Theater in Talent, here's your host, Brian O'Connor.
And welcome to our latest episode of the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. I'm your host, Brian O'Connor, and I'm excited to be here with you again. We are now officially into our 2025 season here at Camelot, and lots of exciting things to look forward to, including the addition of our American Masters Drama Series. We are featuring 3 classics this year: The Price by Arthur Miller, The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams, and Bus Stop by William Inge. Now, in our last episode, we talked with Gwen Overland, Camelot Theater's artistic director, and also the director of The Price, and that show opens February 19th. In this episode, we're going to be visiting with the directors of The Glass Menagerie and Bus Stop. One important thing to remember about these shows is that they have a limited engagement, only 2 weekends of performances for each of these 3 dramas. So you're going to want to reserve your tickets now at CamelotTheater.org so you do not miss out. All right, well, let's jump right into it. I want to welcome Zach Verdon to the podcast. He's directing The Glass Menagerie, which opens May 21st here at Camelot. So, Zach, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So this is a great classic show, Tennessee Williams. How did you get involved with this project?
Gwen had approached me, and she had asked me to come to her actually with a couple of show ideas for the season because she wanted me to direct something, and I came to her with some ideas, and she was like, "Well, we're going to go a different direction. What do you think about doing this?" And I mean, honestly, I was like, I want to do Vieux Carré. And she's like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. A, no one knows that one. And B, it's a little dicey. But no, it was, so I hadn't read the script since, honestly, probably my freshman year of college.
Okay.
It was one of those like class assignments. And
right.
I wasn't that interested in it at that time, but revisiting it now in my mid-30s, and having had some experiences that maybe I could identify a little bit better with Tom and the journey he's on, the reflection that he's going through about his family, and then also just the dynamics of the family. I mean, these are real people.
Yeah.
These are absolutely real people.
Right.
And you know, like it's a family that truly does love each other. And they truly do wish the best for each other. Their way of showing it, maybe it's the proximity, maybe them smashed in this apartment together. Maybe it's their financial situation that kind of necessitates this proximity. You know, just becomes a bit of a pressure cooker on them. Right. And also time, just the pressure of time. I mean, this is 1937 and Laura's not getting any younger. And she already has this physical obstacle, right? And so that, you know, impedes her ability to confidently go out into the world and maybe accomplish the things that her mother would hope for her.
And this is a memory play about a family that is struggling with all kinds of things. I'll give a quick rundown of what the play is for those who may not be familiar with it.
Yeah, so in the play, Tom is living at home. He's a little bit older than Laura. They're both, I feel like probably in their mid to late 20s in there, which for this time period is pretty late to not be coupled off and to be living at home with mom. And, you know, their dad left many years ago, and they have all just had to work their way through and do what they can to get by in St. Louis. And And yeah. So, you know, I would say the big thing that Amanda is trying to do is arrange for her daughter to get married. That's what needs to happen for the family to progress.
So let's talk about the cast, because you've already cast this and you've got an all-star cast coming into this.
I'm stoked.
Let's talk about who is in the show.
Yeah. So Beth, who is playing Amanda, she played my sister in Harvey. And I was just astounded by the energy that she brought to that character. It was incredible where she starts and where she ends, that character arc. And I always remember there was this moment at the end of Harvey, and it was the quietest, simplest moment that these two share. Elwood, my character, says, "Is this what you want?" And with just a slight tilt of the head and a subtle twinkle in the eye, she says, "Yes." And I nod and I put my hand on her shoulder and I said, "Okay, Vita, I'll do it." And that moment was just, you could hear a pin drop every night. It was one of those moments that, and it was in that moment that I was like, she's an actress through and through.
Yeah.
I mean, she is an actress.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see her dive into this character because I know she's just going to chew it up.
Right. Yeah. We have writer Cole Emerson, too, who is just amazing. Anything he does, it's incredible to watch.
Yeah. Again, just wonderful energy. I think, I told a writer, there's actually two situations. I told a writer that when I saw him do the stage reading of Laramie Project, I leaned over to the person I was with and I said, I think you'd be a great Tom. And I just saw something. I saw a grounded, just brewing energy that I knew just had so much going on. And I was like, that's the energy of this character. And it was really exciting to see that sort of distilled energy. The other thing was when we were in, and I thought this was a very Tom moment. And writer, I'm gonna share this. When we were doing Anything Goes, I was leading. The cast requested me to do a group warm up, and I was leading it. And writer joined the circle and goes, "Yeah, is this mandatory?" And I said, "No, it's not mandatory." And writer just bounced, just walked right out of the room. And I was like, that was Tom.
Yeah, absolutely. Funny.
Yeah.
Marin Alexis, who is new to Camelot, she joined us last season. I think Next to Normal was her first show with us, and then she was in Anything Goes, and also The Sound of Music here recently. So she is in The Glass Menagerie as well. What a joy to work with.
Yeah. So I met Marin when we did Next to Normal together. She played my daughter in that show, and I was astounded by the depth that this young woman brings. She is so soulful for her age and has so much wisdom and curiosity that's just natural to her. And she's confident enough to kind of trust that intuition. And I think that that's what really makes her something special. I knew right away that she was Laura. I needed someone who I could believe had this dynamic interior world, and that they had the ability to let us see that as it plays out in front of us on stage, because that's where Laura lives. She lives in her menagerie. And so that has to be totally rich and realized. And I just know that, Marin's a rising star. She's phenomenal voice, so much soul, so much depth. And I just cannot wait to see what she's going to do in the next few years.
Yeah, definitely. And then rounding out your cast is Braden Simmons, who has also done some things with us here at Camelot.
Yes, Braden. just Jim to a T. When he came in, Braden has this wonder about him, and he really is just got. He gets stoked. He gets stoked, and that is the energy that Jim brings. Is like he brings this this energy of like, don't you ever dream about things? Like, what do you want? Like that's Jim,
right?
And like he's not going to think too much. He's not going to meditate too much on the obstacles in his way. He's gonna hurdle right over them. And I've literally witnessed Braden hurdle over set pieces in Anything Goes, and just hurdle his way through some diving through the air, and I'm just like, that's the Jim energy.
Yeah.
And I have so much respect for that just boundless curiosity, and I'm so excited to have that energy in the cast.
It's going to be great.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah.
We're talking with Zach Verdon, who is directing Tennessee Williams' The Glass Menagerie, which opens May 21st. The Glass Menagerie, part of the American drama series we're doing at Camelot, along with Arthur Miller's The Price, as well as Bus Stop later in the year. So when you have a piece like this, how do you approach it as a director? Because it's, you've done so many different things here, from comedies to more serious, and this is kind of more in the serious vein. So as a director, how do you approach something like this?
Yeah. So the first thing is, these characters, they're real people, and they're funny. Mm-hmm. They're funny to us, the audience. Like, we get an opportunity to see the comedy in these. And Gwen Duffy is my assistant director. And when we were holding the auditions, we were really amazed by how much we were laughing, because people think Tennessee Williams, it's going to be heavy.
Right.
And yeah, like, it is heavy. The circumstances are challenging. But what I really want to see happen, and this is what was so important to me in how I cast the show, was bringing people into the room who were brave enough to bring themselves into the room, because the comedy that we're going to get to experience and the heartbreak that we're going to get to experience is going to be directly correlated to their willingness to show themselves and show up.
Right.
And this is a cast that has that kind of bravery. And, we've assembled a room of people, between me and Gwen and Haley, who just directed Sound of Music, is going to be stage managing. And so I just have so much
You've got the A-team all the way around here.
I've got the A-team, and I couldn't be more happy about it. And everyone's just like hungry to dive into this kind of text, because a lot of us we've done a lot of musicals. We've done, which are great because they demand a certain skill set that is wonderful practice for us as artists. I mean, to be able to find, some truth in our performance while we're singing and dancing and running at these neck breaks paces, is great stuff. To be able to really, though, like, sink into something that's a little more subtle and a little more dynamic in its humanness, is something that everyone's kind of craving right now.
Right.
And so for me, it's just going to be all about, like, let's find your Amanda, writer, let's find your Tom. What do you bring to this? What do you recognize here? And then the other thing, this goes back to my training at University of Washington, where I got my MFA. We did a lot of devised work. We did a lot of movement work, a lot of breath work and things like that. And not that I will be turning this into some sort of an actor workshop, but I'll be pulling on my skill set, which is finding stimulus for the actor, whatever it is that's going to just awaken their nervous system to each other and the space around them and the circumstances and the language. Whatever's going to make that just the juiciest and most alive is like what I'm going to be pushing them to do. So just really fleshing that out.
Right.
So it's going to be, in that sense, experimental.
Yeah. Well, we can't wait for this. The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. It has a limited run, 2 weekends only. So you're going to want to get your tickets for this May 21st through June 1st. You can go to CamelotTheater.org and reserve your seats now. And don't miss this experience for sure. Zach Verdon directing The Glass Menagerie. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Coming up in our next segment, we'll be talking with the other Zach Wentworth, who is directing Bus Stop later in the year. It is the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast.
Camelot Theater, located on the corner of Talent Avenue and Broadway Alley in Talent, Oregon, is a vibrant community theater known for its engaging performances and commitment to the arts. Established in 1992, it showcases a diverse array of productions, including classic plays, musicals, and original works, fostering local talent and providing entertainment for audiences of all ages. With its intimate setting, Camelot Theater creates a unique and immersive experience, making it a beloved cultural hub in the Rogue Valley. You can check out all our shows and reserve your tickets at CamelotTheater.org.
It is the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. I'm Brian O'Connor. We are back with our next guest, who is no stranger to Camelot Theater. He started here, I believe, in 2012. We'll talk to him about that. And now he is directing. We're going to be getting into our third show in our American drama series later this year, Bus Stop, and it is none other than Zach Wentworth. Hello.
Hello.
Great to have you here.
Yes, very exciting to be here.
So your first show, was it The Best Man in 2012?
Yeah, and
Wow.
which was that was a wild experience because it was me and Rigo Jimenez and Billy King.
Yes.
And we were reporters that our entire job was to sit off stage. And every time the door opened, we would just shout. 9 times out of 10, it was nonsense.
Right.
But like we had some like predetermined like questions that we were supposed to be like asking, quote unquote.
Fun.
But that was my first experience here at Camelot, and I will probably never forget it.
And how many shows have you done? Because you've been in a lot of stuff here.
I think last time I counted, it's got to be at least 20 something now.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Pretty impressive.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I can't believe I've been going this long.
And you made your directorial debut with us just a few months ago with Spotlight on Cat Stevens with Eric Connolly. How was that experience?
It was a wonderful experience. The cast was great. The script was great. All the designers were great. It was a great show to jump into as my first sort of step into directing,
right,
to see if I wanted to continue that.
Had that been something you had been thinking about for a while?
Yeah, I think the last like 2 or 3 years, really, I think it's kind of been like on the back of my mind, like, hey, I think, I want to sort of broaden my horizons. As much as I love being on the stage, I think also being able to do something that's still creative, but not so time demanding and consuming. And so directing always kind of seemed to speak to me because I feel like I have learned a lot of the tools that it takes just from being a performer, but just utilizing them differently to sort of bring something to life, which seems fun.
Great. And now you're coming back this season for William Inge's 1955 play. It's one of my favorites, Bus Stop, and it runs October 29th through November the 9th. And on these dramas that we're doing, it's part of the American Masters drama series, only 2-week run, so it's a limited run, so you're going to want to get your tickets. But tell me how this kind of came into being for you, stepping in as the director for Bus Stop.
Well, I will be honest and say I was not the first choice, and that's okay. Yeah, unfortunately, it was supposed to be, I think it was Alex Boyles, and then he had to step away, and then it was offered to me, which, like, thank goodness, like, sorry, not sorry, I guess. But yeah, so then, Gwen approached me about directing it, and, I knew of the play. And I knew it was a movie at some point. I mean, I think it had Marilyn Monroe in it.
Yeah,
it?
it did.
And then, so I kind of knew about it. So I was like, well, let me take a read of it and I'll see if I want to do it. And I took a read of it and was like, that's a play. But I think that's also kind of what was like, yeah, I think I do want to do that, because I think, the first read of it was like, what is happening? And then I read it again. And I was like, okay. I understand. I see what's happening. I get it. And it's kind of like interesting to see. I think it will be interesting to kind of see how the audience takes in the story, because I think there's a lot of things about it that will kind of resonate with some today's topics.
Sure. Small play, only 8 people, and we have not cast this as of the time we are recording this. You have auditions coming up, though.
Yes. So we are having a general audition on February 8th.
Okay.
And I believe that's 12 to 3 in the afternoon. And then we'll be holding the callbacks the following Monday and Tuesday, the 10th and 11th, from about 6:30 to 9:30.
And all of that information we will have on our social media pages, as well as our website at CamelotTheater.org. So if you are thinking about maybe auditioning for this, come down and definitely do that. So tell me a little bit about the show for those who may not be familiar with Bus Stop.
So it takes place at this diner where this sort of group of all sorts of walks of life sort of get stuck there overnight during a storm. The bus that's taking them through gets stuck there because there's some trees down in the road, and then the phone lines are down. And so they all get kind of stuck there overnight. And there's a couple of cowboys that are up to some mischief, supposedly. There's Cherie, who's like a nightclub singer, and how do I put this without giving too much away? She claims to be being kidnapped by one of the cowboys, and so you kind of have to figure out if she really is kidnapped or maybe there was some other stuff going on.
Got it.
Yeah.
Great. Set in a diner about 25 miles west of Kansas City. This was written in, basically the play is set in 1955. And William Inge was actually friends with Tennessee Williams, who wrote Glass Menagerie, which we are also doing with Zach Verdon directing. We just talked to him a few minutes ago. And a very sad life, though. William Inge just never really found the happiness in his life. He had success in the 50s, and then it kind of died down a little bit, and he never was able to reclaim that success. And sadly, just not long after his 60th birthday, he committed suicide, which was very sad. And I was reading about him, and there was, when authorities responded to his home, they found an envelope on his kitchen table, and it was a rejection letter that he had gotten for one of his novels. And it was like, oh man. Yeah. But he had some great work, and this is just one of them. How are you approaching this? Because this is the first drama that you've directed. The last was a Spotlight, which is a whole different beast in its own. So you're going to be diving into a lot of research here, I'm sure, very soon.
Yeah, it's I think, especially since I'm a new director, I tended to think about like how do I want to approach this, and I talked to some of my friends who who have directed some stuff, and kind of how they would approach things, or kind of drawing on my experiences with directors that I really like working with, and how do they work, and what are things that I like about their sort of style of directing that I can sort of kind of pull from and create my own sort of style, I suppose. But I think with this particular show, I really wanted to try to focus on the relationships in this show, because I think those are what are really the show is about those relationships and how you navigate those sort of feelings that come with that, and the sort of like good and bad aspects of any sort of relationship that you have, and what you're willing to forgive versus what you're willing to not forgive and move past. So it's kind of how I'm trying to look at it is what do we want to bring out from these people that other people will resonate with, so that way at the end you kind of feel for these characters.
Right. Bus Stop is probably one of his best known works, along with Picnic was another one that he did. And then there's some other things in there as well. But we mentioned briefly, this was turned into a film that starred Marilyn Monroe. So that was kind of a big deal. The play itself was nominated for 4 Tony Awards, including Best Play. Also, Best Featured Actress in a Play for Elaine Stritch, Best Scenic Design, and Best Director. So it's definitely kind of a standard, and it's done quite a bit, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So, very excited to see what you do with this as you start to get into this. Talking with Zach Wentworth, who will be directing Bus Stop. Opens at Camelot Theater later this year, October 29th, runs through November 9th. Again, it's part of our American Masters drama series here at Camelot, and these are limited engagements, so just 2 weekends. So you can buy tickets now. Go to CamelotTheater.org and get ready for it, because it's going to be, I think, just a fantastic show, and great to have you here.
Yes, I'm so glad you invited me.
And that wraps up this episode of Where Broadway Meets Talent. Thank you so much for listening in with us. And coming up on our next episode, we'll visit the cast of The Price by Arthur Miller. That is the first show in our American Masters drama series. It opens at Camelot February 19th. Make sure to tell your friends about this podcast, like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Brian O'Connor, and we will see you at the theater.